Good morning, everyone. So we are the reporters of Lesson 3, Module 3. I am Chelsea T. Casillas and I am with,
Rhea Lindsay Bautista,
and our report is about the assessment
assessment
tools
tools for
for
each
each
level
level of learning
of learning
outcome.
outcomes.
Okay, so let's start first with the key points. So yung first part, meron tayong tinatawag na KPU learning outcomes. And meron siyang types of test na kung saan ilan dito yung objective test, pencil and paper at ang matching type. So sa first part, nandito yung knowledge process understanding or KPU learning outcomes na tinatawag natin. Na-encounter na natin siya before, kaya naman pasisimplihin na lang natin siya. So this is they specify what learners should know, understand, and be able to do upon completion of the program. Dito natin mai-assess at mai-evaluate yung learning ng mga bata, kung na-achieve ba nila yung learning goals ng isang course objective. Tapos, sunod naman dito, meron tayong mga types of test para maka-measure ng kanilang knowledge, process, at understanding. Una na dyan yung objective test. So, mostly, familiar na tayong lahat dito kasi as student, ito yung ginagawa natin. Nagsasagot tayo ng iba't ibang mga test para ma-measure ng mga teachers yung natutunan natin. First is that it is a test that require only one correct answer. It is difficult to construct but easy to check. Ibig sabihin lang nito in simpler terms, iisa lang ang sagot dito. At madalas ay madali siyang checkan dahil nga it requires only one answer. Sunod naman yung pencil and paper test. Ito yung palagi nating ginagawa tuwing may face-to-face at i-assess tayo ng mga teacher. The test is written on paper and requires a pencil to write. So that's basically it. Simple Simple recall naman, ito yung madalas na tinatanong sa atin ng mga teachers madalas bago mag-start yung lesson, and this is the most common tool to measure knowledge. So simple recall, for example, itatanong nila, ano ba yung idea nyo tungkol sa isang bagay na to, or naaalala nyo ba yung ginawa natin nung tinapik natin ito, ganyan. So nagre-recall lang tayo ng mga ideas na napag-aralan natin. Next ay ang alternative response test. Dito naman, it is a type of paper and pencil test where two options or choices are provided. Dito nagkakaroon na ng choices or ng pamimilian. And ito yung tinatawag na alternative kasi may pagkakataon na sabi dito, the test taker is presented with a problem or question and must provide a response that is both correct and appropriate. So however, minsan mahirap siyang tsekan kasi nga meron siyang alternative response and the teacher should assess correctly and accurately para malaman kung tama ba yung pagkakaintindi ng bata dun sa lesson. Next naman, yung multiple choice test. So, familiar na tayong lahat dito kasi madalas ito yung ginagawa natin. Basically, may mga choices tayong pamimilian and we have to pick kung ano yung pinaka-best na answer. Matching type naman, it is useful in measuring factual information as well as relationships between two things, ideas, or concepts. So, merong premises at responses and doon sa mga premises at responses, pipili tayo kung ano yung pinaka-the best na answer for that. Next would be the perfect matching type, imperfect matching type, and subjective test. The perfect matching type, the number of premises in column A is less than the number of responses in column B. Ibig sabihin, sa perfect matching type, equally distributed yung premises at yung responses. So, meron silang tigigisang sagot. So, isa lang yung magiging sagot doon. However, kabaligtaran naman siya sa imperfect matching type na maaaring magkaroon ng higit sa isang sagot. Subjective test naman, ito yung freely expressing of your ideas and madalas nakikita siya sa mga reflections, essays, insights, and opinions that can be in a form of essay. Next would be This one, the essay. Test items allow students to freedom of response. So, merong kalayaan ang mga bata na makapagpahayag ng kanilang sariling saloobin patungkol sa isang topic or idea. Next would be restricted response item. From the word itself, restricted, so meron lamang silang limitation na sa pagsagot. It is an expanded form of short answer type objective test. So bibigyan lang nila ng justification yung naging sagot nila, pero restricted lang sa isang topic. And last would be the extended response item. The student is generally free to select any factual information that can help in organizing the response. So, i-extend lang nila or palalawakin nila yung idea nila sa isang bagay. So, ito yung iba't ibang types of tests to measure knowledge, process, and understanding at makapag-assess kung tama bang nabigyan ng mga bata ng pagkatuto at the end of the course objective or learning subject. So, next would be Rhea.
So now let's proceed to the types of essay that measure complex learning outcomes. So Ms. Casinas mentioned earlier the restricted response items and extended response essay items. So again, yung restricted response essay items this is like an expanded form of short answer type objective test na kung saan is may limitation on both the content, scope, and the form of student response o kung paano sumagot yung bata based doon sa essay. While in extended response essay items naman, dito is yung bata is generally free to select any factual information na makakatulong to organize the response. And yung content dito is in extended essay is nakadepend halimbawa dun sa analysis, synthesis, evaluation, o yung tinatawag nating higher order thinking skill. So, taas pa, Chels. Yan. In restricted response essay items, ang examples of complex learning outcomes that can be measured is ability to explain cause-effect relationships, describe application of principles, formulate valid conclusion, enumerate and explain method and procedure. Kung mapapansin natin, di ba, explain, describe, formulate, enumerate, and explain. Next, yes. Dito naman sa extended response essay items, yung examples of complex learning outcomes that can be measured is ability to organize ideas, integrate learning, design an experiment, evaluate the worth of ideas. Kung mapapansin natin, yung higher order thinking skill ang makikita natin, like organize, integrate, design, and evaluate. Next po. So assessment tools to measure authentic learning performance and products, KPUP. So pag sinabi natin KPUP, K stands for knowledge, P for process, and U understanding, and P stands for performance or product. So the level of the learning outcomes in KPUP can be assessed through performance or product. So these learning outcomes can be best be done through the use of authentic evaluation. Ibig sabihin si performance or product daw yung level 4 as mas maa-assess natin kung yung authentic evaluation yung gagamitin natin. Ang authentic evaluation is a test that measure real-life tasks, performance, and actual products. So si authentic assessments, ini-evaluate niya whether the student can successfully transfer the knowledge and skills na nag-gain niya in the classroom to the various contexts. And the most common of the authentic assessments are the performance assessments and the use of portfolio. Next. In performance assessment tools, we have 3 tools. First is checklist, second is rating scale, and rubric of portfolio. So checklist is a tool that consists of the list of qualities that are expected to be observed as present or absent. So sa checklist, may mga list of qualities tayo dyan na dapat ma-expect or ma-observe as presence or absent. Kapag sinabi natin presence, imamark natin siya as a check and the absent is marked as X. More on, makikita lagi natin dito sa checklist yung check and X. Mark, check, and X. Dito naman sa rating scale is the tool that uses a scale in number line as a basis to estimate the number value of a performance or product. Dito sa rating scale is mga number yung makikita natin dito. And the value is easier to score if the points are in whole number. Whole number yung karaniwang ginagamit natin dito sa rating scale kasi mas madali nating makita yung score if yung whole number yung gagamitin natin. And the most popular rating scale is called Likert scale. Alam ko, familiar tayo sa Likert scale, di ba? Kasi ginagamit natin to sa ating research. Kalimitang ginagamit natin is yung Likert scale. And rubrics for portfolio, it is a portfolio is compilation of the experiences as authentic learning outcomes presented with evidences and reflection to assess the total learning experience as presented in a holistic package. Dito is makikita natin yung detailed ng information about doon sa portfolio na ginawa nung bata. An assessment tool called a rubric is utilized. Well, pag sinabi nating rubrics, di ba, it is a set of criteria to evaluate a student performance. Makikita natin dito yung ma-evaluate natin dito yung performance ng bata. Sa checklist, rating scales, and rubrics, ito yung tools na kung saan makikita natin yung specific criteria and ma-allow si teacher at si student na mag-gather pa ng information and to make judgment about the student to and can do in relation to the learning outcomes. Next. Ito yung mga examples ng checklist, rating scales, and rubrics for portfolio. Kung mapapansin natin dito sa checklist, di ba? Check the item which you have seen which were done appropriately and mark X item which were not appropriately done. So, imamark lang natin siya, check or X. Sabi ko nga kanina, no? Mark, check, or mark X. And dito naman sa rating scale, makikita natin yung mga numbers, 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 is the lowest, and 10 is the highest score. Yun lang, i-rate nyo lang siya. 1 is the lowest, and the 10 is the highest score. Dito naman is makikita natin yung very detailed dito sa rubrics for portfolio. Makikita natin yung mga detailed information about dun sa ginawa ng bata or dun sa performance or product ng bata. Next. Levels of assessment for levels of learning outcomes. The level of assessment is also the description, the level of the learning outcomes, which are knowledge, process or skills, understanding and product, or performance. So pag sinabi nating knowledge, nandito si factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, and si procedural knowledge. Pag naman yung process, this is the skills that student use based on the facts and information for making meaning and understanding. Ang understanding naman, it means the big ideas or concept. Dito na pumapasok si ideas or si concept. While product is performance is as evidence of learning what products or performance. Dito sa table, makikita natin yung levels of learning outcome assessment. Level 1 is knowledge. Level 2 is process skills. Level 3 is understanding. And level 4 is product or performance. What to test or assess? Ano daw yung test or ina-assess ni level 1 sa knowledge? Ito yung sa knowledge, who, what, when, how, why. And yung type of assessment niya is pencil, paper, non-paper, and pencil. And ang percentage value niya in assessment is 15%. While in the process skills level 2, constructed meaning from knowledge, pencil and paper, non-paper and pencil, and the percentage value in assessment is 25%. In level 3, understanding, explanation, interpretation, application, empathy, perspective, and self-knowledge, big ideas, principle, and generalization. And ang type of assessment naman is pencil and paper, and ang percentage value and assessment is 30%. While in level 4, products and performance, transfer of understanding to life situation as product or performance. Ang ginagamit na or type of assessment is checklist or rating scale. And ang percentage value in assessment is 30% with a total of percentage value in assessment is 100%. Next. For every use levels of assessments in the classroom for a summative test. For every grade period, a summative test is constructed. When we say summative test or assessment, it is evaluate to student learning, knowledge, proficiency, or yung success at the conclusion of the instructional period. It is aims to evaluate student learning and academic achievement at the end of quarter or term. To help in the test construction at table specification. Di ba familiar naman tayo dito sa table of specification. This TOS should reflect the level of learning outcomes provided. An example is shown below. Sample table of specification matrix for a periodical test for the third quarter. Yung assessment level is knowledge, process, understanding, and product. Yung tools na ginamit kay knowledge is object test, kay process is objective test, and understanding is objective test and essay. Sa product is rubrics or rating scale. So ang highest score is 25 for knowledge, 25 for process, 30 for understanding, and 20 for product. Yun yung highest scores nila. And ang weight nila sa knowledge is 15%, sa process is 25%, sa understanding is 30%, and sa product is 30% with a total weight of 100%. Next. Sample matrix of a periodical summative test result in the third quarter. Example of Ana Padilla performance in the test. So, assessment level, katulad na kanina, knowledge, process, understanding, product, and ang tools is objective test then for process, objective test or essay sa understanding, sa product is product test, performance or product test. Ang highest possible scores naman dito sa knowledge is 25, sa process is 25, sa understanding is 30, sa product is 20 with a total scores of 100 points. And ang scores, since ang example natin is si Ana Padilla performance in the test, ito yung mga scores na nakuha ni Ana. 25 sa knowledge, 20 sa process, sa understanding is 26, sa products is 20. So 91 points yun na score na na-earn ni Ana. Ang weight naman ng scores ng highest scores, sabi nga kanina, is 15, 25%, 30%, and 30% per product. And ang percent value of Ana's score, yung 25 niya, syempre 15% yun. Since naka-perfect siya dun sa test, dito sa knowledge, sa 25, ang kanya nakuha is 20. So, ang ang equivalent nun is 24%. Sa understanding, ang nakuha niya ay 26. So, ang equivalent niya is 25.99. And dito naman sa product, ang nakuha niya ay 20. 20 din siya. So, means perfect siya. Ang ibig sabihin nun ay 30% siya. So, pag pinag-plus, plus natin to, knowledge, process, understanding, product, makakakuha tayo ng total 94.99%, or ito yung tinatawag nating composite score. Ito ang tatandaan yung composite score dahil makikita natin kung para saan to si 94.99% mamaya. Next slide. Placing values the assessment result from KPUP, the grading system. The internal scale of computed for levels learning outcome are given level proficiency description. This interpretation is used for all learning areas of subject in basic education. So ito yung mga levels of proficiency description. Si beginning, developing, approaching proficiency, proficient, and advanced. And yung composite score na sinasabi ko kanina na mahalaga in summative grade in percent is pag beginning, ang equivalent niya is 74 and below. Sa developing, ang equivalent niya ay 75 to 79. Ang approaching proficiency, 80 to 84. Proficient, 85 to 89. Advanced is 90 and above. Ayun yung mga equivalent niya. Kung ano yung mga nakuha dun sa composite score in summative. So when used as a tool for the formative assessment, the teacher will be guided by the level of proficiency of each learner. So si teacher is nagaguide ng levels of proficiency description. Doon niya nakikita kung beginning ba yung bata, kung developing ba yung bata, kung approaching proficiency yung bata, kung proficient yung bata or advanced. Thus, remediation can be done immediately. Sa pag-alam nung teacher sa levels of proficiency ng bata, doon makikita yung remediation. Madaling makikita ni teacher kung may remediation bang mangyayari. Before going to next school, quarter or school level. So using Anna's composite score of 94.99% means that her level of proficiency is advanced. So dun based sa score, composite score ni Anna na 94.99%, ang equivalent niya is advanced. Kaya di ba sabi ko tandaan yung 94.99% na grade ni Anna. So ang equivalent niya dito ay advanced. So, doon na po natatapos ang aming report.
So,
Thank
thank
you
you so
po.
much po sa pakikinig, and I hope ay madami po kayong natutunan sa Lesson 3, Module 3.
Thank you po. Thank you for listening.